Hey guys, welcome back. BDC Care here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. The current challenge is for Batgirl Prime. That is a 1 week repeat. The required characters for that are Nightwing, Joker, and Deathstroke, who you can get as low as Bronze, Silver, and Bronze tier, respectively. So not bad for newer players. Her passive is Tactical Advantage, which is Batgirl and her teammates each start the match with 1 bar of power. She's got 850 attack and 1000 health as her base stats. She was last available just about a year ago, late August of last year, August 22nd.
So, Batgirl, the original Prime. Low overall stats, even lower than last week's Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, because she was an early challenge, right?
Very early. She might have been the first on iOS.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think on Android she might have been later because she
had to wait till she came back around.
Right, because Android came out later than iOS. It was released. Injustice was released later. So Batgirl is often used as a support character for what amounts to a still powerful passive. And that sometimes makes it hard to forget that she was the original Batgirl who was able to take advantage of the Cloak of Destiny and later the Necron Scythe loadout to create a Special One bomb.
Yeah, for how bad her stats are, the fact that she can be useful on any team that she's on is more useful than somebody totally random in that slot instead of her. And any, geared out right, she can be somebody who can hold up a team in her own right, which I think is unusual for how low her stats are.
Right. So you can play her Special One for splash damage or to max out damage to make sure she gets her power back. So earlier this week in our Q&A, we demonstrated the stacked Cloak and Scythe loadout, and now we're using the more common traditional League of Assassins Knives splash damage loadout. Now, earlier in the week, we also used Lantern Hal Jordan for gear stripping, but like we were saying during the Q&A, he isn't really necessary against Astro Harness like other characters would be, because Batgirl does so much one-hit damage with Cloak of Destiny on her Special One if it crits. It's usually enough to knock out an opponent and do enough damage that you skip all of the invulnerabilities after the first one for Astro Harness, and you don't even need to strip gears. However, gear stripping still useful against the no damage gear loadouts, so we put Claw of Horus on Cassandra Cain Batgirl. And Cassandra Cain Batgirl, because she's a multiplayer challenge, we haven't reviewed her the same way we've done the regular challenge characters, so it's nice to let her shine here, where when you give her Claw of Horus for gear shattering, that effect can trigger up to 3 times. So she can potentially strip all the gears on the opponent with one Special One. And so Batgirl's Prime, her Special One, is so powerful, we're only giving her Tantu Totem. We don't need to give her anything else. So Cassandra Cain benefits from having Master's Death card. And you'd think it would help to strip gears with every tag, but it doesn't. The problem is that there's an interaction between Cassandra Cain Batgirl's passive and Master's Death card, so that the bar of power she gets on tag-in doesn't show up immediately. It also means that she cannot do a Special One as the Master's Death card effect is triggering. I mean, if you just do one basic hit or even a special, power shows up immediately after. I mean, it's still worth it, even though you're sort of losing that one ability that we almost always use Master's Death card for, which is the leveraging special effects. Doesn't matter. It's still really good with that, and it's a good way to... Red Lantern Hal Jordan, we have power all the time. We strip gears easily. This way, every time she tags in, she can strip gears, even though she's not leveraging the effect. It's inherent in her Special One. Double Batgirl team, also interesting because you can benefit from both Cloak of Destiny and Necron Scythe. Each of them will get the boosted stun damage against opponents, so each of them has a quite powerful Special One. Yeah, and I guess the one thing is, so you can see in her damage, we've got her doing maybe about 130,000 damage when it crits. Some opponents are actually strong enough to survive that.
Is that with augmented attack, or is that with basic attack stats?
Yeah, basic attack stats.
So if you augmented her attack, you could probably get her to pretty much one hit on everybody.
Yeah. The other sort of hidden advantage of Batgirl Prime's Special One is that even though it's only 2 hits, with the second hit doing the most damage, so it's often the second hit that's knocking the opponent out, almost always knocking them out, there's enough of something after the second hit in the animation that will count as a special for the opponent tagging in, so that if it's Injustice 2 Superman and he doesn't block, or Flashpoint Aquaman passive for a Flashpoint team, both get negated.
Yeah.
It's almost like a special has been done against them, even though there is no damage after the second hit. It also will protect against a lot of tagging effects from the new opponent after a knockout, except for Rebirth Raven. So that's interesting. Rebirth Raven will still steal our power, even though we can sort of save ourselves from, say, the tagging effect from Lucha Urbane.
Yeah. So we are 71 weeks since the end of a 4-year repeating challenge cycle. We're looking at a 54-week cycle now, that we're in week 17 of our second cycle. So a lot of words, a lot of repeats of the word cycle. Basically, there's new updated characters, right?
Newish, yeah.
Newish. That they're coming back around that haven't previously been available. And we're sort of waiting out
to see if it repeats.
To see if it continues to repeat.
Yeah.
Next week, we expect to see Godfall Superman.
Right.
So there we go. Moving on to the multiplayer reward, it is War Gauntlet, which becomes Claw of Horus. When it is maxed out on tag-in, the opponent receives damage equal to 10% of his health. When an opponent tags in, all damage to that opponent increases by 10%. It stacks 3 times and resets on player tag out. And the evolved ability, which is on Special 1, a 75% chance to disable 1 random gear of the opponent till the opponent tags out. It was last available on the 30th of January of this year. Next week, we expect to see Tantu Totem.
Yeah, we're getting close to, I think, where there was a deviation before. There was an interruption that corrected itself in the last cycle. In another month, we're going to hit one of those weeks that changed.
Yeah, we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah. So let's look at the abilities, right? Tagging damage 10%. It's decent, not great. So the example we're watching right now, Cassandra King Batgirl, she does 25% tagging damage of the current health. So this is only 10%. So yeah, it's okay. The main advantage of the 10% over Cassandra King Batgirl's 25% is that the 10% can actually knock out the opponent. Opponent tag in boost damage 10%, stacks up to 3 times. It's not enough of a boost, and there's not enough opponent tag outs and tagging in when we fight compared to how often we tag in and tag out, that it's going to make much of a difference. Even if you used it with Antimatter Sinestro with his passive and use Special 1 to force tag out over and over again, like literally if you did it like 3 times, 30% damage, how's that? It's not moving the needle, right? And that's assuming that he had 3 bars of power and he had the Claw of Horus.
Yeah.
What you end up doing is losing the most powerful piece of Claw of Horus if you do that on Antimatter Sinestro, because disabling gear on Special 1, that makes this gear legendary. It works even if the opponent blocks. It works even against Astro Heart's invulnerability. It works when the opponent doesn't take any damage.
Yeah.
And you can leverage that effect by using characters like we just did now that can trigger multiple gear effects, like Cassandra King Batgirl. Other example would be Batman Special 1. I think most of the Batman skins can do that. Varying abilities. Some are 2, some are 3. Or you can use gears that can multiply special effects, right? So let's say Enchantress Companion Gear. Flying Skulls. After special, you can trigger the gear effect if you have a second bar of power to quickly do another Special 1 in time with the Skull's Landing, which is what you saw earlier in the week when we were demonstrating that with the Red Lantern Hal Jordan.
Yep.
Using it with Master's Death Card on your second tag in which Master's Death Card hits on tag in and it's not interrupted by something like Cassandra King Batgirl's tag in 25% health reduction. Works just like Enchantress Skulls. And you get the gear effect multiple times if you time the Special 1 right. So both the Enchantress strategy, which requires 2 bars of power, or the Master's Death Card strategy, which requires a second tag in, they can let you strip every piece of gear on the opponent, even though there's only supposed to be a 75% chance of disabling 1 gear with each Special 1. I love that. And like I said, if a gear has just one ability that makes it worth the gear slot, to me, that's a legendary gear. This is a legendary gear. It is unique. Nothing else does it quite like this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. wonderful.
Well, I think the other thing too is that when you think about disabling gear, right? Having a gear that can disable an opponent's gear, especially if there's a consistent way of doing one or more than one, has to be the most valuable gear, basically, right?
Yep.
Not in terms of making the fights as fast as possible, but just in terms of winning a fight.
Yeah.
If you can, on average, disable 2 of an opponent's gear with 1 of your gear, then it's just the math just shows that you're up 1, right?
Yeah, in my mind, I always think, how much do I hate it when gears get shattered on me? And then I know exactly
How
much,
valuable it is.
Yeah.
Moving on to the store, we have the Godfall Superman bundle that is for $24.99 Canadian, prices in Canadian because that's the information we have access to.
And that's the only currency that matters.
Yep, it's the corroborating clue to next week's character challenge. It comes with 100,000 power credits in addition to the character. It does not unlock a copy in your store, so it's not worth it really unless you super want this character, because you're much better off just doing the challenge next week and then unlocking the ability to buy them for credits.
Right.
We also have the Red Sun Pack 2 for $24.99. Comes with 3 out of the 6 Red Suns. You get a 16% chance of Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Deathstroke, and Green Lantern. And you get a 20% chance, that extra 4%, to get Solomon Grundy. And just to restate, these are all the Red Sun universe versions of these characters.
So what's fun about this name is it just struck me now. I don't know why it never occurred to me. There's other packs that have a number after them. I think there's an Arkham Asylum Pack 1. And this is Red Sun Pack 2 isn't to tell you that there's another Red Sun Pack coming back. It's to tell you that this is different than the original Red Sun Pack. Yeah. Which was consistently Superman, Wonder Woman, and Solomon Grundy, who were the original Red Suns.
Yeah, but that one hasn't been around for a while, has it?
Because exactly. So they've retired the original one, and they were making a point, I guess, of saying this is a different Red Sun Pack.
It's like how the Mountain Goats will do like sequels to their songs, and they won't have always released the first one. So You'll just get like 2 of a song and there's no one. Yeah. Okay. Phantom Zone has 1 more week left and then it'll take a 2-week break after that. Fight 62 is still broken. Last weekend's breakthrough for golds was Zod, Aquaman, and Shazam. This coming weekend's should be Catwoman, Deathstroke, and Raven. Link in the description to a thread from Devlin16 in the subreddit going through the complete breakthrough cycle if you want to check that out for yourself. And moving on to the glitches. As far as current glitches go, we go into more detail either every time something significant changes, which didn't happen this week, but we also do it on our first weekly recap of every month, which is today. So we're going to go through
September
in a little more detail. Just remember, you can always look at the complete glitch tutorials in our in the videos that we have, either individually, or you can check all in one place in the playlist current working glitches that we have in the description. Or you can also find on our channel through or all the normal ways you find a playlist. I don't actually really know how you go about finding a playlist on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I don't know either. I think usually from the channel, but we've also clicked. You can click on the eye in the top right corner.
That's true.
Of the video too.
Yep. So
that's extra work each week, but I do that for your benefit,
a little
viewer.
bit. Yeah. So, just to get the housekeeping out of the way, we are Android only. So we can't give specific help for iOS, but sometimes people do help each other out in the comments. And we will start with the significant not working glitches, the stuff that you might want to do or remember doing at some point if you're just coming back that you will have a harder time finding because it's harder to look for a negative.
Yeah, so the biggest one is there's no current working glitch for credits that we're willing to endorse. We talked about this in much more detail in a previous Season 6, Episode 9 of our Q&A, which used to be called the P and Q and C and A and T. Definitely worth repeating to the larger audience here that some people have been successfully exploiting glitch that requires 2 devices being logged simultaneously into one account. We only endorse and recommend glitches that we test and confirm ourselves. And being logged into one account on 2 devices, we've confirmed, is a good way to mess up your account.
Yeah, there's some amount of risk that either you get banned, auto banned, that the data gets messed up in a way that permanently screws up your account in an unpredictable way that is sometimes account ruining.
Right. The glitch for getting repeated past multiplayer season rewards not working. It's wild. So, I mean, some of these things, we say them not because people are asking for them, but because they used to exist and they used to be wild. They used to be really good, not working. Glitch for getting early multiplayer season rewards is not working in an exploitable way. It is probably the main reason why people don't get rewards in a given season. It's because they got it earlier in that season. There is also no glitch to get through Phantom Zone quickly, but take a look. We got another playlist. It is for Phantom Zone speedruns. Glitch that used to let you get the free energy without watching the advertising video, also not working. And that's separate from the time shifting for free energy, which is working.
So now, moving on to the working glitches, the glitch to let you play Phantom Zone repeatedly is still working as of now. The challenge reset method that requires Google Play Cloud Save is working. We've tested and confirmed that on the current Batgirl Prime challenge. Importantly, these are essentially the same glitch. You're just resetting server progress. And so you want to be willing to do both when you do either. And you should always, right now they're both active, but you should always, somewhere in the back of your head, make sure that you're willing to reset progress before you go about trying.
So the two most common problems that people talk about are, one, that the cloud icon doesn't appear, and that means you're disconnecting too early. The other most common problem is the other way. Progress remains, cloud appears, but the progress in your challenge is still there. That means you're disconnecting too late. So that gives you the margins for what you're supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah.
So
it lets you know what's happening wrong if something goes wrong.
Right.
We also have in the description a comment from Tanmay Kakde with instructions on how to move data around on your device as opposed to re-downloading data when you hit that clear app data button. So it requires extra space on your phone instead of extra data, extra download time. It'll be faster as long as you have the storage to spare. If that's something that you're running into. Some people, it doesn't make you re-download.
I mean, Wi-Fi, you're more likely to be unlimited than you are, say, if you're using your cell data.
It's true. The breakthrough glitch to let you play it repeatedly is still working. The airplane mode / refund glitch is working. That's good for any packs with random drops. Also, last laugh tickets. And basically anything that gives you a random reward that does not require an internet connection. So that doesn't work for things like the Phantom Zone. It wouldn't work for like a cash pack with a random reward, right? Because you need to be connected to the servers at the moment that you make that transaction, and then it kind of locks you in. And we recommend against doing the variation of this where you're swapping between accounts instead of clearing your app data. It's the same reason as that 2-account glitch is not recommended. You can mess stuff up. Right.
Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited Survivor Plane energy recharges. The main thing, it's wild to me too, this thing still keeps showing up where people are asking, why aren't I getting Phantom Zone? Why aren't I getting the challenge showing up? Just basically any events. The main reason why that happens is that people are connected to the server where they've intentionally messed up their clock. Which is why anytime you do the time shifting in the instructions that we give you, you're disconnected from the internet and you correct your calendar and clock before you reconnect.
Last but not least, in between not working and working glitches, we have the promotion glitch, which has not been usable since update 2.14. So it's been years since we've been able to test it, but it's technically never failed us. So it's in here on a technicality, and nobody can stop us no matter how hard they've tried.
I don't know anybody's tried.
No, that's true. But that will do it for this week. It's all the content we want to go over, but we do one bit of housekeeping, which is we'd like to give some thanks out. So first off, a very warm thank you to all of our lovely patrons on Patreon. That is Michael Devries, Irvin, Ruiz, Hoshi127, Nora Klimek, and Miguel, supporting us on the credited level. And then our sort of second tier of thanks is thank you to you, the nameless horde, watching this video right now. We won't speak your names out individually, but however you support us, at the very
least. Like Voldemort? When you say you won't speak out their name.
Well, it's just we don't have all that information.
That's true. Okay.
I'm actually it's probably a good thing, right? You wouldn't want every YouTube video you watch to have like a bunch of your demographic information.
That's true.
It's probably good that you get to stay in anonymity if you choose to. But yeah, so to all of you who support us, however you do, thank you for that support. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.